130 kilometers off the coast of England, something is buried at the bottom of the North Sea. You could sail straight over it and never know. It lies 700 meters beneath the seabed, under rock that took 40 million years to settle. And for 2 decades, it started one of the strangest fights in British science. It was found by accident in 2002. Geologists weren't hunting for mysteries, they were reading sound. Survey ships fire pulses down through the seafloor, and the returning echoes draw a picture of what lies below. Off the Yorkshire coast, a shape appeared that had no business being there. A near-perfect circle, a crater 3 kilometers wide, ringed by fractures almost 20 kilometers across. They named it Silverpit. To some scientists, the answer was obvious. This was the scar of an asteroid. Others weren't convinced. The North Sea is full of salt, buried deep, and salt moves. Over millions of years, it can slump and drag the layers above it into rings and hollows. Maybe Silverpit was never a wound from space, just the ground collapsing over itself. There was no rock in hand to settle it, only echoes. So a team led by a geologist at Heriot-Watt University went looking for something they could hold. Not another scan of the seabed, but the tiny chips of rock that drilling rigs bring up as they bore through it. In cuttings from a well near the crater, at exactly the right depth, they found quartz. Quartz that had been through something violent. Under a microscope, ordinary quartz looks calm. This did not. It was crossed by sets of dead straight through the crystals. Geologists call it shocked quartz, and it is one of the most trustworthy signatures we have. Those lines only form under a very specific, brutal pressure, around 10 to 13 billion pascals. Earth's slow, everyday geology never reaches it. Salt never reaches it. Only one thing on this planet does: a hypervelocity impact. That single detail ended the argument. The shocked quartz, the seismic images, and impact modeling all pointed to one conclusion. An asteroid, roughly 160 meters across, struck the sea here between 43 and 46 million years ago, in the middle of the Eocene. It came in at a low angle from the west, and it would not have been quiet. The models suggest it threw a plume of water and shattered rock into the sky and sent out a tsunami that may have reached 100 meters tall. Picture a wave as high as Big Ben, racing away from the impact in every direction across a shallow ancient sea. Here is the part that is easy to miss. On land, a crater like this is impossible to ignore. In the Arizona desert, one sits in the open, more than a kilometer wide, its rim rising above the plain. But the sea hides its scars. Sediment falls year after year until the crater is sealed under hundreds of meters of seabed and forgotten. Silverpit is one of only about 33 confirmed impact craters beneath the world's oceans. Which leaves an uncomfortable question. If it took 20 years and a few grains of shocked quartz to prove this one was real, how many more are down there sealed under the seabed that we haven't found? The North Sea kept this secret for 40 million years. It's fair to wonder what else the ocean floor is still holding. The crater finally has a name, an age, and an answer. But the ground it is buried in has barely been read.